Now, the Central Bank of Nigeria is meeting exporters, regulators, and other stakeholders to enlighten them on the details of the $2.5 billion currency deal between the Central Bank of Nigeria and the People's Bank of China. That was on Wednesday. But how will this deal impact small and medium enterprises in the country? We're joining us to answer that is Chizoba Iheme, Head of Liabilities Emerging Businesses at Diamond Bank. Chizoba, thank you for taking the time out to join us today.
Thank you and good morning.
Now, how successful is this sensitization program to the success of this currency swap deal?
Okay, so before I get to that, I would like to take us through what a currency swap is. Like you just said, CBN signed an agreement with People's Bank of China for a 16 billion renminbi and equivalent of $2.5 million dollars. And a currency swap, by the way, is an agreement between two parties where the parties involved exchange the principal of a loan amount and the interest in one currency for a principal and interest in another currency. And the aim is to get better interest rate rather than it will be gotten if sourced directly from a foreign market. Okay, so most importantly, it's expected to improve our foreign reserve and improve the liquidity of renminbi for banks in terms of settlement. And also looking at how it's going to impact SMEs. First of all, the problem of SMEs is cost. SMEs are sensitive to cost, so it is believed that this deal will help reduce cost. And what I mean is that before a transaction is settled, maybe in China, it will go through the correspondent bank. And in getting to the correspondent bank, time zone differences will apply before the correspondent bank engages maybe their counterparts in Beijing. And the aim of this is to reduce that timing and the costs involved in the entire transaction. We also believe that it will impact positively on our industrialization plan as a nation. SMEs will be able to buy machines, spare parts, raw materials they need. And on the other hand, the businessman in China can also buy things from us, so thereby increasing whatever it is that we're doing in the export space. It is convenient for them, it is speedy, so they're able to block their transactions in good time, which is, all these are part of the issues that are bothering SMEs. So we believe that this sensitization, this deal is a positive thing for the SMEs in Nigeria.
Now, what transactions are allowed under the swap agreement?
Pardon me?
What transactions are allowed under the swap agreement?
Okay, so the usual transactions, letters of credit transactions, bills for collections transactions. However, banks are not allowed to open yuan-denominated accounts for their customers. So the regular letters of credit and bills for collections will apply.
Can you help us understand what the impact of this deal will be on the 41 banned items?
Okay, so the 41 banned items under this deal are still not allowed to access this official funds. So they can't deal under the swap exchange. It's still banned under the swap exchange.
Okay, so but in terms of long-lasting impact and positive impact on SMEs, what do you think the big picture will be in terms of how it changes the business models, if it were, as it were, rather, on the SMEs?
Okay, so for the SMEs, well, it will be in two folds. Some negative impacts and a bit of a negative. The positive one is that they can buy machines that will, the government has been pushing for local content. So we will have a lot of made in Nigerian goods because a lot of technology will be brought in to enhance our production. So that is the big picture. On the other side, the negative impact may be that we'll have a lot of Chinese goods in the country and competing with our homemade goods.
Do you think that's something that the CBN has taken into consideration, the fact that many of these manufacturers and Chinese manufacturers in China actually did get or still do get cheaper credit lines compared to manufacturers, some manufacturers here in Nigeria.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes.
I don't think, I mean, of course, that takes us back to the point where we're saying how competitive will the products here in Nigeria, made by Nigerian manufacturers, be compared to the Chinese manufacturers?
Yeah, so like I said before, the goods that will come in from China will be cheaper and will compete with our goods here. Unfortunately, our goods, well, may not match the quality of those goods coming in from China. So we may also have fake goods coming in, which is going to be a challenge. Okay. But it's for our regulatory bodies, NAFDAC, SUNCAP, to be on their toes, to be sure that we don't have fake goods coming into the country because of this opening.
All right, Chizoba, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for talking to us today. That was Chizoba Iheme, Head Liabilities Emerging Businesses at Diamond Bank.